Okay, so today we're going to introduce logs, and logs is short for logarithm. And what exactly is a log? Okay, it's just a different way to express exponents. So what we're going to be working on today is, since logs are another way to express exponents, we're going to be converting either logs to exponential form or exponential form to log form, and then show how we can find the value of the logs. Okay. So if we wanted to, here's our rule, okay? So it's log base A, how we read it is log base A of x equals y. This is the log form here, and it means the same thing as this exponential equation, a to the y equals x. Now you're used to seeing equations written more in the exponential format, but let's identify kind of what the different variables are representing, okay? This a, the number that's being taken to a power, is called our base number. Okay, the y is our power or our exponent. Okay, and then the answer that we get when we evaluate that exponent is our x. Now, when it's written in the log format, the a and y mean the exact same thing. That little subscript number or letter of what it could be after the word log, the a, that is your base. The y is still representing your exponent or your power. So you can remember the rules, okay, and just kind of plug the numbers into different equations. Or if you can always remember, like, what is your base number, that should always go first when you're changing from one format to the other, and then it's always going to be raised to the y power, okay? So if you can always remember what the base value is in both equations, then when we switch it from one format to the other, you're really just going to be interchanging the x and y values. And there's also a third way that a student showed me several years ago of how we can change from one format to the other, kind of using a little trick. And this is your trick, so you can choose whichever idea, memorize, identify what your base is, and switch the other two numbers. Or, and this is the one that I think students use the most, is regardless of which format it's written in, your base value always occurs first. So we're going to identify our base value is the 2. So when we try to put it in the exponential form, we're going to start with that base number of 2, and then the order in which we write our numbers goes in a counterclockwise direction. So it's going to be 2 to the 4th power equals 16. And then you can evaluate it 2 to the 4th, make sure that it equals 16, so we know we probably put our equation in the proper order. So if we take a look at our second one, we'll identify what our base number is, which is that little subscript number. And then we go in a counterclockwise direction. So 3 to the 3rd power equals 27. And again, evaluate it. 3 cubed equals 27. So let's take a look at one more, and then we'll have you guys try the 4th one on your own. So again, think, what is our base number? It's that little subscript number of 3. And then the order in which we write it is that counterclockwise motion. So 3 to the negative 2nd equals 1/9. And again, evaluate 3 to the negative 2nd power. It gives you a decimal. If you convert it to a fraction, it'll equal the 1/9. And then why don't you guys try the last one on your own? And then we'll reveal the answer. So start with the base number of 2, raise it to the 2nd power equals 4. Okay. So now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to be given the equation, the exponential form, and then we have to change it to the log form. Okay, so again, we have our same rules that you can follow, or we can, again, use the idea that you identify what your base number is, and when you switch it to the log form, you're just going to switch those two numbers, or again, we can still use that counterclockwise motion. So if we were going to put it in the log form, we need to write the word log, and then we always start with the base number. And again, remember, that's the one that's being taken to a power. So the first number we write is our base number, and when it's in the log form, it's the little subscript, and then the order in which we write the numbers goes in a counterclockwise direction. So it's going to be log base 2 to 32 equals 5. Okay. Same thing for the second one. To put it in log form, we'll write our word log, We start with our base number, which is the one that's being taken to a power. So then that becomes a little subscript number when it's in log form, and then it goes in a counterclockwise motion. So log base 5 of 125 equals -2. Now, we can check these, and we'll show you on the next slide of how we can use our calculator to plug in the log side and make sure that it equals the right side. Okay, so if we take a look at number 3, it's a little bit different from the first two. And if you notice, the difference is in the first two, our base number was written first. In examples 3 and 4, the base is written second in the equation. So if you want to keep doing that counterclockwise motion, you may need to rewrite it, just kind of flipping the equation so that the base number appears first, and then we have the rest of our equation. So now if we want to put it in the log form, we'll write the word log, and then what is our base number? It should be the 4 of 16 equals the 2. Okay, and why don't you guys try the last one? Again, you might need to do some changing of your equation. Okay, so if we switched it, it's 10 to the third power equals 1,000. So to change it to the log form, we write the word log, start with our base of 10 of 1,000 equals the 3. Okay, the last thing that we're going to take a look at is how we can use our calculators. So I said we'll show you on the next slide how we can evaluate it by typing in the left side to make sure it equals the right. Now we'll show you how to do that. So if we look at the two numbers that are attached to the log, one number looks to be a little taller in size and the other one looks to be a little bit smaller in size. So there's a little phrase or saying we can use that might help you in knowing and remembering how to type things in. So you're going to hit your log key, which I'll show you on your calculator in a moment. When you type in, it's going to be the log of the taller size number. Make sure you close parentheses around that number, divided by the log of the smaller size number. Okay, so if we look at our first example, the 8 looks to be taller in size. So when you type it into your calculator, you'll hit your log key of 8, close the parentheses, divided by log of 2. So what we're searching for when we're finding the exact value is your answer is basically going to be what power are we going to take the 2 to that would give us an answer of 8. So I'm going to pull up the calculator and show how we can type this in. Ooh, I forgot to pause. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to hit our log key. Then you're going to type in the taller number of 8. Make sure you close the parentheses around there. Hit divide and hit your log key again of the smaller size number 2. Now at the end, it doesn't matter if you close the parentheses or not. And then when you hit enter, we should get an answer of 3. Okay. So if we do the second one, we do the log of the taller size number, which is 64, divided by the log of the smaller size number, which is 4. When you type that into your calculator, we should also get an answer of 3. So why don't you guys try the last 3 by punching those in and see how we do. Okay, so hopefully when you typed in log 5 divided by log 5, it came out as 1. For number 4 should have come up as 0, and 5 should have come up with -2. Okay, so we're just going to work through just a couple problems with the whiteboard. So if you want to grab a board, a marker, and an eraser. Okay, so this one we're going to change to exponential form. So go ahead and pause the video as you work through. Okay, realize I forgot to pause it. Okay, we start with the base number of 3 to the second power equals 9. All right, let's try a second one here. And again, we can pause the video here. This time you're changing it to the log. Okay, so it's log base 4 of 64 equals 3. And again, on both of them, the first one and the second one, you can check. If you type in 3 squared, it does equal 9. If you type in log 64 divided by log 4, it should equal 3. So it's always self-checking on these as long as you have all numbers in place. Okay, let's skip that one and skip that one. And let's have you try number 5. So you want to change it to the exponential form. Okay, so we start with the base number of 2, raise it to the negative 5th power equals 1 over 32. And again, you can evaluate in your calculator 2 to the negative 5th power. It gives you a decimal, but when you change that decimal to a fraction, it should give you 1 over 32. Okay, so we're done with the whiteboards, and then the rest of the class time we'll be able to work on our projects.